All right. Good afternoon here from Los Angeles, Los Feliz here, Valerie Milano, the senior editor of the Hollywood Times and also with Aspiring Magazine. And I'm so glad to have these ladies here on the show today. And I'm going to have them introduce themselves. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, we're so happy to be here. So Marilyn and I are a comedy team. We're called the Mommies. People probably knew of us a lot in the 90s. We had a sitcom on NBC and then a talk show on ABC, and we're canceled and replaced by The View. Um, but we did that for about 10 years and then went off and did other things. And then I moved back to the Bay Area, and Marilyn and I kind of reconnected and started performing together for the first time in 30 years. And so it's a whole new show. We call it Aging in our last trimester, the Mommies. And we are definitely just aging in public. Take it
Yes,
away, Marilyn.
Marilyn. I'm Marilyn the geezer, and um, eh, yeah, Carol kind of said it all. I'm a grandmommy. We're both grandmommies. Carol more than I even, and I'm just like she said, I'm aging in public.
Okay.
But funny as ever.
Thank you.
I'd say the two first became known in the 90s with the Mommies sitcom, a talk show, and even a Showtime special.
Mhm.
How did that whirlwind of accidental 15 minutes of fame really feel at the time?
Well, we were a little lost. We didn't understand the Hollywood game. What we found out was how easy it is to go down the Hollywood ladder. That's no problem.
Yeah, so Marilyn and I we were actually neighbors in a very suburban cul-de-sac in Petaluma, and that's how we became friends. I thought she was hilarious and still is. I mean, this woman, she says she's aging in public. What is so funny is like she's the most vibrant geezer you'll ever meet. She's trying to get me to choreograph a dance to Kendrick Lamar's They Not Like Us. And I said, Meryl, I don't even think our audience knows who Kendrick Lamar is.
Well, speaking of that, looking back, what do you think made your comedy resonate so much with audiences in that era?
Oh, I think it's because we talked about the real things that mommies go through. And that's what we're doing now. We're also talking about the real things grandmommies go through. But yeah, things like, I get home from uh, getting groceries, and, my teenage son is lying on the couch watching MTV, and there's Tiffany lying on top of him, just happy, happy, happy. I have to say, Tiffany, don't you know when an adult walks in the room, you're supposed to get up and blush? And
We
that
did.
was
I
the
think
kind of
we
thing.
really just, it
Yeah.
was the details of our life that you can't really make that stuff up. And people sniff it out right away if it's very contrived. And I think we're more storytellers, I think, than we are like, joke tellers. And people just want to hear their lives reflected. And at the time, Marilyn always is like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you say that." I said, all the comedy out there was, I call it chooch comedy, where it was all men talking about women and sex and going down on women and around women. And I was just like, ugh, it was the last thing on our minds, when we were like breastfeeding and, we would talk about, childbirth and all of that stuff. It was like that was the last kind of comedy we wanted. And so these
We,
moms just came in droves because they just
yeah.
want to hear
Well,
about their own life.
with the reporters, we told them that it was a show for women who don't want sex more than once a month, and they came like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, did you realize at the time that you were carving out a space for women and moms in particular in comedy in a way that hadn't really been done before?
I can see it now in retrospective, but
At the
no,
time, no.
not at the time. We did not know what we were doing at all.
Yeah, we just, and I mean, at the time, I think, the female comics that were out there were like, Joan Rivers, Carol Burnett, Lily Tomlin. Roseanne was probably the closest to what we were doing, but we lived, we were, I would say more, middle class suburbia, whereas hers was a little more gritty. And so I just think we hit a nerve.
Yeah.
But we
So
didn't, like Marilyn said, we didn't know what we were doing.
So fast forward 25 years and you've reunited with the mommies their last trimester. What
hmm
sparked the decision to come back together now?
Caryl, you're the one that started it.
Well, I said to Marilyn, I said, people always ask us about our adventure. Like, what was that like? Who did you meet? And it was like, we have all these stories of, we had these brushes of with fame and celebrities and stuff, but we never felt like we fit in. We were complete fish out of water.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to the Montreal Comedy Festival and Marilyn like lost her ish in the elevator with Fred Willard.
Oh, I love
She
Fred.
left Fred Willard,
And I
you
was
know,
just
and all
making
these
a
women
fool of
are,
myself.
they're prancing around in Armani and they're carrying handbags that cost more than my minivan. And it was like we were, we're wearing like, Mervyn's fashions. And it was just like, oh my God, looking back, we were just green as could be.
Yeah.
So the new stage
Hopefully
show
it
is
was charming.
yeah, so it's the new stage show is described as irreverent and unfiltered. What kind of themes and stories can audiences expect that might surprise even your longtime friends and fans?
Well, I always say that, what I think Marilyn and I do best is we tell stories in a way that illustrate aging in a way that maybe, somebody else might do like a typical or trite way into things about sagging necks and blah, blah, like all the stuff we've heard before. But like, talking about, Marilyn losing her hearing, Marilyn, just tell her the
Yes.
math story.
I would, yes. There was a commercial that came on. I was cooking and I had the TV on, and a commercial came on, and it said it was anti-drugs. And so a person came on and said, and it was about meth, but I heard it as math. So people, come on and they're saying, my life was just fine until I did math. I'm thinking, what? And one woman said, math ruined my life. And I thought, I hate math too, but ruined your life?
So I think that's the kind of way that we kind of get into those things, where
Yeah,
we talk about like, technology and like, I had a moment with my grandson where he loved that song by Pharrell, Happy. And so he said, Jamma, can you play Happy by Pharrell? And I'm like, sure. So I go, Siri, play Happy by Pharrell. Nothing. Then I get louder because, you think if you get louder, it's going to be better, right? So I'm screaming, Siri, play Happy by Pharrell. And then my son comes flying out of his home office. He's like, Mom, it's Alexa. It's Alexa, you know.
yeah,
So it's those kind of moments that they're just real.
yeah. And I have a girlfriend. This one you haven't heard yet, Carol, but it'll be in the show. I have a good girlfriend. Her name is Vicky, and she taught first grade for years and years and years. And so she's getting a colonoscopy. So she's lying on her side. Her butt it's open and exposed, little cap on her head. And the male nurse comes in and says, oh, Mrs. Vianello.
Oh no.
She was just, no, no, no.
That's
That's
incredible. I
hilarious.
love it. So
Yeah.
you're talking about how comedy and TV have changed so much since the 90s, especially with streaming,
Yeah.
social media,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the whole new generation of these comedians. How do you see your comedy fitting into this new landscape? Besides this, I mean, what's something about the entertainment business now that you wish that you had back when you were first starting?
Well, social media for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, because I think the ability to reach a more targeted audience
Yeah.
is easier, but I think that it's just it's adapt or die. I mean, honestly, it's
Yeah.
like, either you get on board or forget it. You just can't approach it in the old ways. Thankfully, we have people who are younger helping us.
Yes, and complaining a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I think, that we wish, social media is just, I mean, and it's such a way to get to people in authentic ways too, that, we don't have to wait forever to produce something. I mean, Marilyn and I can do it on the fly and post it. And so that's that's such a luxury now.
Mhm.
Yes, very true. Carol and Marilyn, we have talked about then versus now. Now we're going to talk about the new tour. You're performing at the Crow in Santa Monica on November 8th.
Yes,
What
Yeah,
yes,
makes
November
that
8th. We're
show so
so
special for
excited.
you? Yes.
It's a wonderful comedy club. I mean, Nicole Blaine has created this venue that is just it's very pro women, and she does a lot of really fun, innovative things. And we were going to perform there last spring, and we ended up doing one in Universal City, and we always wanted to go back because we liked her so much. But I
yes,
just think it's such a supportive, female focused
yeah. And,
venue.
and it's at 3 o'clock matinee. So it's easy for our age group to get there and
Oh
get
my
up.
gosh. I had girlfriends over this weekend. She's like, that's so true. She's like, I would, all of them were like, we'd much rather do like a boozy brunch and then go to a show than drive at night. Nobody
Yeah,
wants to drive at night
nobody
anymore.
wants to. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
They
And
just want to get in their jammies and go to bed.
Oh yeah.
After Santa Monica, you'll be in the Bay Area, including a benefit event for Habitat for Humanity. Thank you.
Yes.
Why was it so important for you to tie this reunion tour to a cause?
Well, for one thing, when we were famous, we did do Habitat for Humanity. I mean, nails and hammers and everything. We feel that this project is dear and near to our heart. And Carol, you want to
Well,
add?
and housing is just, such an issue now, I
Yeah,
think, for people is like, especially like low income people just getting pushed out of, the areas where they work. And it
yeah,
becomes harder and harder, like, in the inner city for people to maintain homes and be able to do that. Um, and we also have some connections too through with Habitat, and we've sort of stayed with it through the years. And so we just, you know,
mhm,
I think our generation too is very sensitive to that, and we have the perspective now that we might not have had when we were 30 and 40.
mhm.
Are there plans for more tour dates, or is this last trimester really a limited engagement?
I would say yes, but mostly we're not doing like a big national tour. I
No,
mean, we're really kind of staying West Coast and,
yeah,
in between, and neither of us have a desire to go far.
no, no,
But like, between LA and San Francisco, or
yeah,
San Diego and Washington,
yeah,
that kind of realm, I mean, we're totally fine doing, and we're just kind of taking it as it comes. There's no
mhm,
pressure to have to
mhm.
really do anything. We're just doing it because we're having fun.
Yes.
Love it. Love it.
It's not, we don't
Well,
have the
and
pressures.
we
Sorry.
make women happy, and I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I
you
mean, there
made
was,
me very happy today, and I'm
Mhm,
sure our readers and our viewers will say the same thing. So, how can they find out more about you and more about the tour? Social media, as we're talking about, or website, or what?
yeah, Instagram, the Mommies 2025. And so they can find us there, and we'll post all the information about the show and everything. And obviously, if you go to thecrow.com,
mhm.
there's a ticket link there. So people could get tickets at
Yeah.
thecrow.com to start. And then we'll start posting the dates of our other engagements as we go.
Love it. Marilyn, any final last words on this show right now?
On this show, you know what? Carol and I, from the very beginning, figured out we make women feel okay about themselves because we show our flaws and we trust, they trust us. And so, like Carol said, it's not just silly jokes about our necks.
I covered mine up today for that reason. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So it's much more us supporting women.
Yes, I love that so much. And it was really, really special to
Oh,
meet you both virtually today. And I can't wait to meet you in person. We are the Hollywood Times dot today and aspiringmagazine.com. Keep up the jokes, keep up the great work. And I can't wait to see you.
good.
Thank
We hope you
you.
come.
Have a great
Thank
Okay.
rest
you,
of your
Valerie.
day. Thanks for
Thank
taking
you.
the time.